Oh, intuition today. My friends were dipping into intuition this week in these days with our intention setting and our awarenesses. So last week, is all the talk and the blog is all about happiness and this journey we all have in this life from fear to love. And so the question is, does intuition have anything to do with our happiness? And I believe 100% it has everything to do with how we create happiness in our own life. So in the blog last week, I spoke about those whispers, right? Those whispers that would give me hope in my, darkest times or the hardest parts of my life, and the whispers of, say, love or hope versus those loud voice in our head that is, fear or doubt or criticism. And so who do we listen to? Well, I can only tell you who my experience and what's happened in my life when I've listened to both at different times. So I know when I get caught up in my life, like when I'm struggling the most, I don't hear those whispers, the whispers of love and hope. I hear only that loud voice that, telling me I'm not, good enough, or, the fears, listen to the anger, listen to the frustration. I listen to the doubts, listen to the negativity. And what's even worse, if I don't take the time to listen to the whispers, I end up believing those loud voices of fear and doubt and negativity. So, again, in my experience, the past, it would take me to a point where I was just, desperate or living so much in fear that it kind of forces you to slow down, to like, you hear people, I wouldn't say I've ever hit rock bottom, but you hear people say hit rock bottom. That's that point where you just throw your hands up and go, I don't know, I can't live like this anymore. And that's when intuition starts to come in. That's when, we let it in, we allow it in. So again, my saving grace is that I was led to, to yoga and to meditation through my own, because I teach it, of course. But it allowed me, it gave me this window to slow down, to stop, to breathe. And in that, I learned to, I learned that I was okay. I mean, maybe not learn. I knew it was always there. It was always within me. I was going to be okay. And I learned to listen more to those whispers. And I learned to identify more with those whispers. Oh, and you know what? I learned to believe in the whispers instead of the loud voices. So those whispers was my intuition. It's my heart speaking to me. That what I like to say, the soul, right? We all have a personality. We all have an ego. We all have one. We all need one. We put on masks. We show up in the world. But when we don't take the time to listen into the whispers, when we don't take the time to listen into our own heart, those whispers get quieter and quieter, and we tend to live from the angers and the fears, the ego and the personality. And that's when we get guided down the wrong road. So, so listen in, listen in. So for me, intuition is that no in my belly when I've just said yes to something that I know I really don't want to do. Okay. It's that hunch. It's that vibe. You know, that vibe where you're like, "Ugh," I'm getting a certain vibe. I want to leave this place or this certain person, or that vibe of like, oh, I'm loving this, right? I love that vibe. It is a gut feeling. It is that bright idea, or what I like to say now, that intuitive hit, right? It's like, okay. And I know that intuition has saved my life. Like it has made my life better. It is intuition that leads me towards happiness and away from all, the struggles and those beliefs that just don't serve me anymore. And so the more that I connect with my intuition, I know I'm connecting with my soul. I'm connecting to who I truly am. And I've learned that my intuition guides me, warns me, protects me. It believes in me. My intuition believes in me. It loves me unconditionally. And whenever I am um, overwhelmed, or whenever I'm just too scared to maybe you know, follow through with my intuition, it doesn't judge me. It doesn't interfere. It is just that quiet voice of love. Again, it's just whispering. It's going to be okay. You know, whatever you do, it's going to be okay. It's the whispers of wisdom. It's that wisdom within. And one of my favorite parts of what I'm really, as I now tune into my intuition on a on a deeper level, is how much it plays with me. How signs and synchronicities and serendipities and you know, whether it's leaving dimes all over the place and I see them, or that song that just keeps coming on that has a little message in there for me, or you know, whatever. I'm driving out there somewhere and I see all of these signs and I'm like, oh my goodness, or that person who calls me that I'm just thinking about, or texts me. So yeah, I love playing with you know, the signs and the messages. So when it comes to intuition, there's nothing scary or strange about intuition. Intuition is always the quiet, calm, very consistent energy, right? It's not that, you know, if you're like, oh, should I do this and should I do that? And I'm all over the place and I can't decide. That's not intuition. Intuition doesn't speak to us in language. It speaks to us in our body as an energy. So that's why it's important to stop and slow down, breathe, connect in, feel, and not necessarily like feel the emotion, although that's important, right? We got to feel the emotion that's coming up. But the intuition is the energy. It is. It's that, what am I feeling in my heart? What am I feeling in my gut? And it's that no, right? Or the go, do it. It's the yes. But we feel it. Like, what does a like yes feel like in your body? Or a no, what does that feel like? When we start putting language to it, we've come out of the intuition aspect of it. We're either talking ourselves in or out of it. That's the ego, that's the fear, that's the doubts that are talking. Don't believe those, right? Listen to the intuition, listen to the energy that's coming up for you. Okay. Yeah. So there's nothing scary. There's nothing strange about intuition, but there is a whole lot of magic about it. And it leads us to happiness. Any time in my life when I can look back and take a snapshot, when I have followed my intuition, it has always led me to happiness. It has always led me out of the darkness. It has always led me towards the light. Always, 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 never an exception. So this week, let's set an intention every day to tune into our intuition, right? To slow down. When things get crazy in our life, we so need to slow down. We need to stop. We need to breathe, feel, right? The energy within us always has a message. That energy always has a message. It's quiet and it's calm and it's consistent. It will always, always lead you to your heart and to the right decision or the right message, that right belief, okay, that knowing, that wisdom deep within all of us. Okay, again, this week's intention, start to observe that voice of fear. Instead of believing the voice of fear or doubt or negativity, whatever is showing up, just observe it. Be aware of it, going, oh yeah, there's that voice of fear coming back up again for me. And notice how that feels. What's the energy that's created from, you know, all of those doubts that we have about ourselves, or those fears or those guilts or whatever it is. So So become aware of it. Your intuition will help you become aware. So you can kind of lean back and go, oh, that's that voice of fear. I don't have to believe it. I don't have to follow it. I don't have to, you know, fill in the blank for you. And then also, as an intention this week, start to notice signs. Start to notice the synchronicities. Start to notice. Be curious, right? Be curious and start to notice the vibes that you're feeling, the energy of your intuition. Okay, so let's tap this in. Let's tap this in. Let's move now. I love tapping things in. Okay, we start to move the body. It's always the same thing. Start to bounce, just bounce, because this is energy, right? Intuition is energy. We feel it. I want to feel my own energy, whatever it is. I'm not judging it. I'm just curious. Feel the energy. Shake, right? Identify with your body. Don't get caught up in the fears or the negativity or the doubts, right? But observe it, notice it. There's no emotion that is good or bad or right or wrong. It just is, and it's showing up. March it out. So let's get energy moving. Intuition is tuning into the vibration of our energy. So let's work with it. Let's play with it. Let's notice it. Let's discover it. Pick up one leg. Just tap in, creating some good energy in our body. Right? Our intuition speaks to us. Stick in epiphanies. Right? Let's just tap in. Tap in. Feel your body. Feel it. What is your body feeling like? Go all the way down. Go all the way up. You just tap wherever you want. Right? If you've been doing this with me for a while, you know where you're tapping. We're just feeling into our body. Let's just tap behind. Those are some good energy points, good joy and happiness points. It's like a morning cup of coffee, just tapping in, knocking in there. Good. All right, let's rub our hands together. Nice deep breath, inhale, and I want you to tap underneath your eyes. So again, this week's intention, let's tune in. Slow down. If your life is not going the way you want it to go, if you're struggling, slow down, quiet down. Sit in silence and just breathe and listen in. Ground yourself. This tapping point right here associated with our stomach meridian, and this helps to ground and anchor our energy. Breathe and connect. Yeah, notice, am I listening more to the fears and the doubts and the negativity? Right, and then I like to cross my arms, but let's go to our kidney points. We just get our energy moving in the right direction. And what is the right direction? Away from the fears, away from those beliefs. I don't have to believe that anymore. I can believe the whispers that is telling me I'm going to be okay. Not the voice that goes, yeah, but this is going on. No. We got to sit. Right? Then we listen in and we start to get, again, these epiphanies. We get these messages. And they can come out of left field. Believe those. Don't believe the fears. And you know what? It might even come in that form. Let's tap into our thymus here and just tap in and again, tune into the intuition. I have a dear friend who woke up in the middle of the night one night and her hand went right to her breast. And she just woke up with this knowing, I have to go to the doctor and get this checked. Okay, went back to sleep. The next day, she made an appointment. No, it ended up being breast cancer. She went through the treatment. It was quite aggressive. She is in remission. No more breast cancer, right? It was just that, listening into the intuition. You know, somebody might wake up the next day and go, oh, that was, what was that, right? But tune into those, right? There wasn't fear around it. It was just, oh, I got to go to the doctor. Just plain, simply listen, go, do it. Those are what we want to listen to. And then tap here, right underneath ribs, the spleen, metabolism points. Big breath. Okay. So, my friends, this week we tune into our intuition. This week we tune into the observation. Listen to that voice of fear. Listen to it. Observe it. Don't get caught up and carried away by the story of it. But also listen into the signs and the serendipities and the love and the hope and those messages. Rub your hands together. We're going to be okay. I am okay. And then you decide which one you're going to listen to. Who are you going to listen to? Let's just cross our energy here. Who am I going to listen to? The voice of love and hope and knowing that I'm going to be okay. It's a knowing. Feel that. It feels right. The fear, the negativity doesn't feel right. And when we tune into our intuition, we know that. Have a wonderful week, my friends. Wonderful week. Namaste.